internet, so I wanted to make a video talking about my tattoos and kind of why I got them and what they mean and that kind of thing. I always find it really interesting to find out why a person gets a certain kind of tattoo, because people get tattoos for all kinds of different reasons, and I always find that really interesting. So I thought I'd share the stories behind my tattoos today. So when I was in high school, I never thought I was going to get a tattoo. I don't really remember specifically why. I just think it had something to do with I didn't think I loved something enough to want to put it on my body forever, and that whole word forever kind of intimidated me, and so I never wanted one. Even though I've never had a problem with people having tattoos, I just never wanted one. Oh, how young I was. I have 3 now, and I want more. So I got my first tattoo my freshman year of college. It was finals week. And I don't remember exactly what it was that made me change my mind about getting a tattoo. And I don't remember really when that occurred, but it was sometime, I think, during that second semester of my freshman year, which would make sense since I got it finals week of the end of my freshman year. But I got one on the back of my left shoulder, and even though I knew I wanted a tattoo, I was still very intimidated. I knew that if I got it in a place that would hurt a lot for the first one, I was afraid that I would never want to get another one. So I picked that spot because it was said that it wasn't really supposed to hurt that much, and honestly it really didn't. It didn't hurt at all. It just kind of tickled a little bit, and it was very uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt, if that makes sense. So it looks like this. And I got it because music has always been very important to me, and I really loved the design. I thought it would look really great in that spot. I thought about it for at least a month before I did it, because I wanted to make sure that it was something I really wanted before I spent the money to get it on my body forever. And I love it. So for those of you who don't have tattoos, whenever you get your first tattoo, there's just something that happens, and I've talked to other people about this. There's something that happens that just makes you want to get more, because you're like, okay, now I want all the tattoos, it's gonna be fine. So I got my second tattoo a little over a year later. It was June of 2014. Yeah, I got my first one May of 2013 and my second one June of 2014. I was ending summer school, and this is one that I thought about for a really long time before I got it, because I decided that I wanted to get a Harry Potter tattoo, because Harry Potter has just influenced my life so much. It has influenced who I am, the kind of people that I'm friends with. It's the reason that I discovered YouTube, which I'm planning on making a video about that at some point. It's just changed my life in this amazing way, and so I wanted to get a tattoo to kind of commemorate that. And Harry Potter tattoos are pretty popular, but I wanted one that was a little more subtle, so I decided to go for these stars that are at the corners of the books. If you're not sure what I'm talking about these stars right here. Because it was solely book related, it was a little more subtle, and it was still Harry Potter. I really liked the design, but placement took me forever to figure out, because I kind of, at this point, wanted a foot tattoo. I knew it was gonna hurt, but I wanted a tattoo somewhere on my foot. But this design, since it had that corner look to it, it took me forever to figure out where to put it, because I just couldn't find a spot on my foot where it looked good. Usually whenever I have a tattoo picked out, I do this thing where I print out a picture of it and I'll like tape it on my skin in various places where I'm thinking about getting it, so I kind of can get an idea of what it might look like, which I highly suggest doing. Definitely suggest doing that, because it helps so much. But just the shape of the tattoo, it didn't look good anywhere on my foot. And then one night when I was going to sleep, I had this epiphany of getting it on my wrist, and so I got a pin and I drew it on my wrist, and I loved the way it looked. So that's where I ended up getting it. And it's right here. I think I've shown it in a video before, but it's probably my favorite tattoo, and it's also really the only one you can see all the time. I get a lot of questions about it because a lot of people don't recognize it right off the bat, but it gives me a conversation starter, gives me a reason to talk about Harry Potter with people. It's awesome. Some people will be like, what is that? Because they can't tell what it is from far away. But I really like it, and it's small enough where it's really easy to hide under a watch, which I do sometimes whenever I need to hide it for various reasons. Unfortunately, this one was my first experience of having to get a tattoo redone, because it did fade really bad. I think it had something to do with I was out in the sun a lot that summer for work, and it just faded really badly. It actually looked like I'd drawn it on with pen rather than it being a real tattoo at that point. So I had to get it redone, which hurt a lot. Now, getting it on my wrist in general hurt a lot. Getting it redone was a whole other ballpark. It hurt a lot because the needle's going into skin that's already been scarred. So it hurts a lot more, but it stayed. I love the way it looks now, and it was worth it. The pain only lasted about 5 minutes, you know, because it only took about 5 minutes to do the tattoo, and even less time to redo it because the outline was already there. It wasn't just like one of those temporary pictures that they put when they do a tattoo on you the first time. So it only took like 3 minutes to redo it. It hurt for a little while afterwards, but then it was over. And so it was totally worth it. But getting a tattoo redone is not fun. Which brings me to my third and final tattoo, which is on my foot. I finally decided to go for a foot tattoo, and it took me a while to figure out what I wanted. I got it Thanksgiving break of my senior year of college. So November 2015, I had this thing of getting a tattoo every year for a while. I don't remember my reasoning behind this, but I thought it was a good idea to get a foot tattoo in November and not in the summer when you're actually like able to wear like flip-flops and stuff. Although to be fair, in November in Texas it's still warm enough where you can sometimes get away with doing that. But I think my idea behind it was during Thanksgiving break I wasn't going to have to go anywhere. I wouldn't have to wear shoes, so it would give that time to heal. But I didn't think about the fact that when I got back to school, even though the tattoo itself was pretty much healed, wearing shoes would still rub on. Because even though it didn't hurt anymore, it was still healing, and I didn't really think about that. So again, it rubbed off in places. I don't know how to properly show you my foot tattoo because I'm too short to kick my leg up and you'd be able to see it. So I'll just put a picture of it somewhere on the screen. But kind of in the middle of the word Wanderlust where the L and the U are, it was pretty much completely gone. So you couldn't even like tell what the word was anymore. And you have to get a tattoo redone within like 90 days of getting it if you want to get it redone for free. So towards the end of my Christmas break, I got it redone, and I was a lot more careful about the kind of shoes I wore, even though it was cold at that point, but I made it work. And when I got it redone, the tattoo artist used a thicker needle, which, yes, that was excruciatingly painful. Foot tattoos are the worst kinds of tattoos in terms of pain, I think, at least that I've experienced. There probably are more that hurt worse, probably like your ribs or something, but I don't know on that because I don't have a rib tattoo. But that one hurt a lot to get redone. Again, it was worth it because it looks awesome now and it stayed, and I love it. I don't have any regrets about any of my tattoos other than like the time that I chose to get them, because I feel like if I had chose different times for the wrist and the foot tattoo, they wouldn't have faded and I wouldn't have had to get them redone. But I don't know. That could just be a weird thing about my skin, that they just fade the first time. I don't know. I think that's a thing. But yeah, I decided to get the word Wanderlust because I love to travel, and I was feeling a particularly bad case of Wanderlust pretty much 6 months after I got back from my trip to Europe that I'd taken last summer for study abroad. Like, there was just a good long period where I was like, I want to go everywhere, and so that's kind of what inspired me to get that tattoo. And at that time, but I want more tattoos. I know I definitely want a paw print, and I'm not totally sure where yet. I was thinking about doing it on my other wrist, but I don't know. I'm kind of still playing around with that idea, and I want to get more book tattoos too, but I don't know what I want yet. I'm still thinking about that, but I know that's a thing that I want to do. And probably I want to do something like with Beatles lyrics, because the Beatles are my favorite band and I love all of their songs, and I know I want to get Beatles lyrics at some point, but it's picking out one and where. But yeah, if you have tattoos, let me know in the comments below what your stories behind your tattoos are, because I think it's really, really interesting. So that's going to be it for this video today, because I can't really think of anything else to add to that. So anyway, I will see you next time with another video. Bye.